Oh, this screencast is going to go over the history research project, and it's going to touch on some details. Um, you will need the same pencil and post-it note that you were using before when you watched the distance learning screencast and asked one question about Veracross or Google Meet, etc. Now you're going to ask two more questions, and that's about the history research project. And today we're going to cover the overview, so I'm going to go over that. It is posted on Classroom, which you can reach through Veracross. I'm also going to show you an example from last year, so you get a sense of what the final product looks like. And I'm going to show you the calendar, or what we're working from. So each day you can jump on that calendar to see what we're going to be doing in class that day. There's plenty of ways to know what we're doing in class. All right, let's get started. So first of all, if I were a 7th grader, I'm going to go to my Veracross page first. I'm going to go to Calendar. I'm going to find April. And here's April lesson plan for the first. This is if I'm in periods 2 and 4. If I'm in periods 1, 3, and 7, it's going to be posted on the 2nd. Regardless, here's the post. And earlier, I watched this screencast on distance learning, and I asked one question. So I have one question ready to go for the Google Meet. Then I'm doing this now. I'm watching a screencast on the history research project overview, and I need to ask two questions on that same post-it note. So you're going to show me that during the Google Meet, and here are the Google Meet times right here for each one of the periods on the 30. So 10:30, 11:30, or 2:30. Here are links below to the classroom pages. So let's imagine that we clicked that I'm in period 2. So I go to the period 2 classroom page. So I arrive here. It takes me to this view, and I can see that I already have a heading called History Research Project. You may have already found this because you are working on selecting your topic, which is right here, Assignment 1, Select Topic. We're now going to be what's on actually Assignment 2, which is the History Research Project. This gives you some details about what the History Research Project involves, but we're going to dive in deeper. So if I click on this, it's going to bring me to this document. And this is the 7th grade History Research Project and Information Packet and Overview. You can print this so that you have it if you have a printer at home. Otherwise, there's a digital copy always on Classroom. In a nutshell, what this says is you will be selecting a topic from a list of topics that I've already given you, and that will be due next week, April 6th for periods 2-4, April 7th for 1-3-7. And you're finding a topic that either denies or expands an ideal. And you want to choose a topic that you are passionate about. There are different elements to this particular project. Number one, you're selecting a topic that is pre-1990. That means has not happened in the last 30 years, so is older than 30 years. In terms of notes, you're taking notes on the background or historical context, the heart of the story, which is the story of the topic itself, as well as its impact, that's its effect over time. You're doing this project as an individual, so you're doing it by yourself. When it's all said and done, you're going to have 100 notes minimum. That's about 20 per section. You'll see how those break down. This is just as many notes as you took during the DC report, so you've done this before. Sources, you're going to be using EasyBib to organize your bibliography. Annotations are how you used each source. Primary and secondary sources we'll go over. Mainly you'll be finding secondary sources, which is like a history textbook. Mostly you're going to be using websites, but you can use videos and live interviews, which means you can actually interview a person or watch a person interviewed on video or watch a documentary on your topic on YouTube. Sources must include websites, pictures, videos, secondary and primary sources. So students should use Breck's online libraries. I'm going to be posting some of the library's resources that they have, and we've used a lot of them in class, so you're familiar with them. All your topics will appear on those for the most part. When it's all said and done, You're going to have one primary source per section. There's 3 sections, which you'll see when I show you the example. So that's 3 total primary sources. And then you need 3 sources per section of secondary sources. So that's 9 sources there. So 9 plus 3, 12 total sources. You're going to be writing a thesis statement, which is an argument about your topic, and you're answering this question. How did your topic either expand or deny the ideal? Then you're going to back up this thesis statement with all the other writing you do. You're going to show how it either expanded or denied the ideal. That comes out of these 5 paragraphs. So you wrote 5 paragraphs on 6 different DC reports. Now you're just writing 5 paragraphs total. So a little less writing, really, but more research. And you're doing the research more on your own. You're going to write a text box, is what we call them, on Heart of the Story. That's the story of the actual topic. You're going to write 2 paragraphs on historical context, which is background, something that happened long before the event, and build up something that happened closer to the actual event but caused it. Then you're going to write about the impact of the event. In this case, there's long-term impact, something that happened way down the road after your event, could even be happening today, and short-term impact, something that happened right after the heart of the story. So those are the effects of your event. You're presenting this in the form of a website, and we will be sharing those websites with a screencast. So yes, you get to make a screencast to share your websites. Here are the different assignments. There will be note checks where I'm checking that you are getting all your notes done. Those will all be done digitally. There will be source checks where I'm checking the number of sources you have. You will be writing drafts, and I'll be reading those and revising those and helping you out. Notes, you're going to be practicing taking a good note using the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, why, how. Sources, you're going to have to find 12 sources. 3 are primary, 9 are secondary sources, and you're going to need to annotate those sources, which means tell us or tell your reader or viewer how you use the source. This just gives you a little bit more information about writing a good thesis. We're going to work a lot with writing a thesis statement. That's where you start after doing your research. And then this just talks about the presentation, particulars about what needs to be on your website. There's text, there's a title, there's a quote, there's an image, etc. More to come on that. Here's the rubric that I will be using to grade your work. It's out of 100 points, which is exactly the same as the history final. So again, that is, where are we? Here we are, sorry, right here. Research project overview. Now I want to take a look at the calendar. The calendar for periods 2, 4, where are we? Right here, sorry. Looks like this. 2 and 4 both meet on Mondays and Wednesdays. This is the calendar for 1, 3, and 7, where most of the class periods occur on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're identical. It's just they're different days. I'm going to look at the 2 and the 4 one. So 2 and 4, you're going to notice that those other days are blank. Those are days for you to work. Let's look at an individual cell. So an individual cell, let's look at this one. You're going to have what's due that day. You're going to have what we're actually doing in class that day. It's very brief. Far more details are on Veracross. And then what the homework is and when it's due. And this says 413. I go to 413, and this says Heart of the Story notes. You need 20 of them. Here's the 20 Heart of the Story notes on the 13th. You will also notice that you have 2 assignments on a Friday, and one is this upcoming Friday, the 3rd of April. You're going to need to watch a screencast on reliable sources, and then you're going to need to find 3 reliable sources on your heart of the story or on your topic. There's another one a little further down right here. I'll make them both gray so they stand out. This is another Friday, the 1st of March. Otherwise, all your assignments will be on the day that you actually have history. The same goes for periods 1, 3, and 7. All your assignments will be on the Tuesday, Thursday, except that first Friday and that Friday the 1st. The websites are due for both classes. Or for each class, I'll show you the difference. It is due on the 27th for periods 2 and 4, and it is due on the 26th for periods 1, 3, and 7. You will have plenty of time to put your website together and then create a 5-minute screencast. More details to come on all of that. So this is the calendar, and again, you can access that calendar right here on the post History Research Project Overview. Now, we've gone over both of those. You may have 2 questions about them. You want to write those down on that post-it note. Here is an example from the past that somebody created, and this was on the Japanese internment camps, and the home page is their thesis page. So here's the quote, here's the title, here is the, oh, we're not in the right section, sorry. Let's go there. Here we go. And here's the person's thesis statement. You can see it's pretty short. This is where he or she makes an argument about the Japanese internment camps, either denying or expanding the ideal. Then you'll see that she or he has different sections here. We got historical context, has background and build-up. Let's go to the build-up one. So this is the thing that caused the event, what happened closer to it. You can see the length of it. She's got her pictures, or he's got her pictures, and a quote is right there. Also, there's impact. And let's go to short-term impact. This is what happened right after the event that was an effect of the heart of the story. Here you got the quote. Here's the paragraph. You got some images. So this is basically what you're creating. Then there's a resource page. These are all your sources, and you're going to make an actual bibliography, very different than what you did for DC reports. These are closer to what you actually will be doing as you move into high school and, if you choose, on to college. So that is an example website. You will see plenty of examples as we move through, but now you get a sense of heart of the story and historical context, impact, and how that all turns into writing. Okay, again, you need 2 questions jotted down, and I will answer those during our Google Meet. I'll see you on the 30 for the Google Meet. Thank you.